Hello, welcome back to the channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, unboxings. We generally like to talk a load of bollocks, tabletop gaming in general, and in this video we're going to be talking about a dry type of Euro game. We're going to be talking about the Red Cathedral, and in this game you will be acquiring resources. You'll be spending these resources to build different levels of St. Basil's Cathedral in Moscow, hoping to impress Ivan the Terrible so much that he gives you a blowjob and sends you off to a nice hotel in the Crimea. So in this video we're going to be giving you a very brief overview of the rules. We're telling you what we do like, what we don't like. Then we'll come back and we'll tell you whether or not the Red Cathedral is worth your time and bother today and in the future. So remember, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to this bloody channel. Hit the like button, leave a comment on that YouTube bullshit. See you after this. Bollocks. So, Red Cathedral, how'd you play this game? So, Red Cathedral is a resource gathering dice type of Euro game, right? Everybody's going to be given a player mat and you'll stick some banner markers at the bottom section of the map. You'll shuffle the build and plan cards. These will give you a blueprint for the structure that is going to be built. Now you'll take the cathedral cards and you'll place these cards in such a way that it mirrors what was on the building plan card, right? So on your turn, you can take one of three actions. The first action you can take is you can claim a cathedral card. You'll take one of your banner markers and you'll just stick it on a cathedral card of your choice. You'll see that there is a bottom section, there's a middle section, and there is a top section, right? This is important because the higher up you build, the less likely you are to get screwed by somebody building below you. When you take this action, you'll be able to take a workshop tile and you'll be able to put it on your player board either face up or face down. If you play the tile face up, you'll pay the cost in rubles. You'll be able to trigger the action that's on that tile, right? It might be the case that you might get some resources like a brick or a jewel or something, or if there's a dice on there, then you'll be able to trigger the action that's associated with that die, yeah? We'll talk about that in a little bit, right? If you place it face down, then you're going to get fuck all for doing it, but you're going to save a few rubles in the process. Or maybe you just can't afford it because you are a cheapskate bastard. So the next thing you can do is you could build or decorate a cathedral, because everybody loves a blinged out cathedral, don't they? If you're choosing to build a part of the cathedral, you'll choose a cathedral card that has your banner on it. You'll pay 1 to 3 of the relevant costs. If the card takes more than that, you'll have to place the resources on that card and wait for another turn, yeah? Once you have fulfilled the resource requirements, you'll flip it over, and this means that you or even another player will be able to add ornamentations to it, which will give you a bumper crop of points. Completing cathedral cards will also give you a shitload of victory points at the end of the game. So if you decide to add ornamentation to a cathedral card, you'll take one of the decorations from your player board and you'll pay the resource cost. You'll also be able to augment the power of the ornamentation by paying 1 or 2 jewels extra, yeah? But you have to abide by the 3 resources rule from the previous action. Know what I mean? So the third action you can take is you can acquire resources. This is where you're going to be getting your meat and 2 veg, right? What you'll do, you'll choose 1 die on the resource wheel and you will move it 1 space for every pip that is on the die. So if you choose a die that has got a 5 on it, you're going to be moving it 5 spaces clockwise. You can also pay 1 ruble to move 1 extra section. So this is quite handy when you're trying to unblock the toilet. So once the die has finished moving, you'll take the resources or whatever the space tells you to take. You'll also be able to use the influence of the geezer or geezette that occupies the space where you landed. You'll be able to choose one of the 2 actions available on the cards, and these are quite varied. You might be able to trade 2 of any resource for 2 of any other resource. You might be able to pay 1 ruble to deliver 1 material to the construction site, and it can be used to build or decorate. Or if you go and kneel at the altar with the clergy, right, you'll be able to get a recognition point. There's 2 types of scoring in this. You've got recognition points, like I've just told you. Prestige points occur on the scoring track in greater intervals, and it's the player with the most prestige points that wins the game. So it's no good just going for the recognition points. You're going to need a mixture of both, right? So you'll also have the option of activating a workshop tile. So if you've got a face-up workshop tile that is associated with the die that you move this turn, you'll be able to activate it, right? You'll earn the resource that is on that space. You've got to remember that face-down workshop tiles do absolutely fuck all. There's also actions that you can do at any time on your turn, right? You can, for instance, move your marker back to the next available prestige space to roll all the dice on one section of the resource wheel. You could do that anytime you like. So you'll keep doing this, and as soon as one player has completed their 6th Cathedral card, they'll earn the rewards on that card, and they'll get 3 additional prestige points for ending the game, and then you'll move into final scoring. You'll be able to trade in all your excess shit that you collected for extra prestige points. You'll get prestige points for each tower section of the cathedral. I ain't going into all that crap because it is fucking boring. And then the player with the most prestige points at the end of the game will be the winner. Red Cathedral. So what do we like about Red Cathedral? So the first thing that we really like about this game is that there is loads and loads of options in what amounts to a very small box. I wish all games were made in a box this size instead of those like Fantasy Flight Grand Canyon style inserts where you're just going to be throwing it away and having a massive box full of air. This is compact all the way down into a very small box that is probably smaller than my penis. So yeah, they have managed to shrink everything down. They've probably been watching Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and lobbed this game into the same thing that inevitably killed my TV. But it just makes me wonder why all of these games are packed into such huge boxes when this one can be shrunk down to the size of a postage stamp. So the second thing that we really like about this is the clever use of dice in the resource section. There is a random element in this game that can be mitigated. We enjoy games where random elements are susceptible to clever manipulation. You can spend your precious prestige to re-roll the dice. This not only gives you the opportunity to get something better, but it can also derail your opponent's plans, but at a cost, a very big cost. You're going to have to plan your moves very carefully because the dice are always in a state of flux. But this doesn't mean that you can't plan ahead because not all the dice move at the same time. You've got to watch what all of your opponents are up to and then maybe fashion your strategy around that as well. Yeah, so it's a very, very clever way of using dice as a method of getting resources. So the next thing that we like about this game is that the possibility of adding ornamentation to the cathedral can give you a bumper amount of points if you can do it, but it also takes longer to do. So you've got this very nice conundrum of, do I blow my stack and chuck a load of resources at just building different parts of the cathedral, or do I save up my resources, maybe get a load of those gems and then leech off of others, keeping an eye on who is building what and when, and then jumping in once they've given up all their precious resources that they've been saving up, and then sticking a great big fuck off purple helmet on top of their tower. So yeah, there's a nice sort of balance between spunking your cash out of the wall or holding it back and tossing one off in the shower. So what don't we like about Red Cathedral? So the first thing that we don't like about it is that the board looks kind of bland and it seems to be a little bit too big for what it is. There's loads of space on the board that isn't used and it's just got this horrible empty feeling. It's almost like the board was constructed in a Siberian wasteland and then hauled to Moscow on the back of a half-starved donkey. Some people I've spoken to really like this style of artwork. They say it is quite thematic, but to me it just feels a little bit bland. The colours are muted and I don't know, it just doesn't convey the sense of grandeur that St Basil's Cathedral possesses, because it is a stunning building, right? Yeah, I don't know, I just don't like the way this game looks and that's a real shame. Second thing that we don't like about this game is that it can make your brain hurt trying to piece all the moving parts of this beast together, right? A couple of times when we played this, I have had brain drain where you sort of lose touch with reality and you just feel that you are existing in an alternative reality. Even the strongest iteration of Nurofen isn't going to fix that problem. Doesn't happen all the time. If you are thinking about picking this up, just be aware it can feel like you are teetering on the edge of a black hole, and then you can feel yourself falling into the abyss, trying to keep track of all the options in your head. So the final thing that we don't like about this is there's not enough variety of influence cards. I think there's like 5 different sets, and okay, you're going to be drawing out random ones each time. Each class of influence card is kind of similar. It just doesn't feel like there's enough variety because, okay, they are a little bit simple. You're just going to be able to get resources or maybe take another action with a workshop tile that you've done. So it would have been nice if there'd maybe been a couple more sets of these just to spice the game up that little bit. So to summarise, is Red Cathedral worth your time and bother today and in the future? So we are going to say yes, Red Cathedral is the Doctor Who's TARDIS of Eurogames. There's a wealth of options packed into this tiny little box. Yes, it's as dry as Princess Anne's Minge. Yes, it can be a little bit long with the wrong group of players. And yes, it can give you a big fucking migraine. But if you are a bona fide Europhile looking for something that can slot into one of these tiny little cavities that you have fashioned for yourself by buying too many Fantasy Flight coffin boxes, then Red Cathedral absolutely can make you feel like you are a dog with two dicks. So there you go, that is Red Cathedral. Remember, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel. Leave a comment in that section down below. Hit the like button and all that YouTube bullshit. See you next time.